Hello and welcome to our video. My name is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection attorney in the state of Alabama, and the question that we'll look at today is, what in the world is a request for admission? Now, this is a type of discovery, and discovery is where the two parties, so you got the plaintiff that sued and the defendant, could be a mortgage company, trucking company, whoever it is, they exchange information and ask each other questions back and forth. Well, a request for admission is where you put it in writing and you send it to the other side, and they either have to admit it or deny it. So let me give you two examples. We have a case right now involving an automobile wreck. So defendant crosses center line, hits us, and injures us. So some of the requests for admissions would be things like admit that the plaintiff, the one that was injured in this crash, did nothing to cause the wreck. Well, now the defendant has to say, yeah, I admit it, or no, I deny that. I think the plaintiff had something to do with the wreck. And then we might say, admit that there was no defect in the road that caused or contributed to the crash. Well, again, they have to decide. If they say, yep, we admit it, well, then we know we don't have to go out and hire an expert to look at the road and all that type of stuff. But if they deny it, then we're going to follow up with that when we take, for example, the defendant's deposition, where we ask them questions face to face and verbally ask them questions. Say, well, tell me what was wrong with the road, because you said that the road contributed to this wreck. Now, in a different context, where we sue, for example, a debt collector for making illegal calls to our cell phones, and we had one recently where there were over 200 illegal calls to our cell phone, and under a federal law, that can be $500 or $1,500 per call. So some of the requests for admissions were, admit that you used what's called an auto dialer or robo dialer to call my cell phone more than 200 times. And you called this number. And then, so just these details. So when we start off a lawsuit, there are all these issues, and we want to narrow those down to figure out, well, what's really in dispute? So in that case, there was no dispute that they called us these hundreds and hundreds of times. So we didn't have to worry about that. And then we could just focus in on, well, what really is in dispute here? So that's the idea, the concept of request for admissions. And an important thing, if you don't answer them in time, then you've admitted them. So certainly if you have a lawyer, your lawyer will help you with that. If you don't have a lawyer, or maybe this is before you filed a lawsuit and you're just doing some research, feel free to give us a call, 205-879-2447. Or you're welcome to go to one of our websites. If it's a personal injury related matter, you may want to go to birminghaminjury.com. Or if it's consumer related, so a mortgage company, credit reporting agency, debt collector, things like that, go to alabamaconsumer.com. Either way, you can send a message to us and we'll get back in touch with you. And I appreciate you watching this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.